Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm Robert Clyde. Welcome to the video. I'll be doing an update for Abzan City or Abzan Ascend, call it whatever you want. I just think city's cool. And I'll be giving some results on a 4-round standard event. Okay, let's get to it. Abzan City updated with results. You can call it Ascend. I mean, it's basically the same thing. So just a quick summary. Maybe people are asking, why did you come to Abzan? Why these colors and why this kind of build? First of all, I wanted to play with black. Black has really good spot removal and cast down, murder, and Vraska's Contempt. Answer it, and then it's get done. Then a new addition, Ritual of Soot, destroy all creatures with converted mana cost 3 or less, so early removal. So you're pretty set with almost every creature. And then you have early aggression, it's just missing a little bit more, so I added white for cleansing Nova and Ixalan's binding. Now you're pretty much set to answer everything. Cleansing Nova, destroy all creatures, has the upside of all artifacts or enchantments, so you can choose between those. Ixalan's binding, a permanent that stops opponent from casting is the card that has been exiled. Okay, and oh, sorry. I wanted to decide from there. I had to decide what I need to get threats. So I had to decide between blue, red, or green. Blue and red, I wasn't so sold. Blue had the Esper Dragon, which was close, and they had the ups of counters and the discard, but I wanted to go for green because Carnage Tyrant and Nullhide Ferox are hard creatures to control or hard creatures to remove. Carnage Tyrant pretty much three swings and the game's over. Nullhide Ferox, another big body, pretty cheap, hard to remove, but pay a little more, it still can be removed, but still a big threat. Still a big early threat. Tendershoot Dryad, if you let it loose just for a while, trust me, it can go crazy. It it can go loose. And it's really nice because when you get to those kind of games where it's a standstill, your opponent doesn't want to attack because there are no good trades and he knows on the swim back he's gonna die. So they're just standing there. Okay, you're fine with that setup because every turn that passes by, you're closer and closer to a removal. And every turn that passes by, you're gaining another body, either a blocker or a threat. And then every time you get another body, it gets closer and closer to the ascent. And then they're making every sapperling a 3/3 threat. 3/3 body every turn, man. That's not your turn. That's not just your turn. It's also the opponent's upkeep. Okay. So, okay, next. And Assassin's Trophy, perfect. Just added more to our removal. So we're basically remove everything, answer everything, and put our big bombs. No, basic mid range. Okay. So here's just a quick Decktech. Swamps at 4, Forest at 2, Plains at 2. You have your Shocks, Overgrown at 2, Temple Garden on 1. I have the guild gates. Yes, you might be asking about it. I am because I'm playing the Circuitous Route. I like it a lot. If you feel that you want to change it, that's fine. Go ahead. Me, I like it. I don't think it slows the board down. I don't think it slows me down too much. It's pretty good. The Golgari Guildgate at 4, Selesnya at 2. And then you have one of each buddy or checkland. So Woodland Cemetery, Sunpetal Grove, Isolated Chapel, all at 1. And then here are your multi-purpose lands. Memorial to Folly, which grabs another creature from the graveyard, helps you refill on threats. Detection Tower, because you are Mr. I'm trying to answer everything, and if, for example, there is a hex-proof creature and you don't wanna, and you of course you don't wanna deal with it. I mean, for example, and of course you wanna deal with it. So Detection Tower makes sure that each and every answer you have goes through. Field of Ruin for pesky lands like Ascanta and other stuff. Arch of Ozarka. I forgot to put this in last time. Another ascend card, another draw. So great. Here are our removal. Moments of Craving at 2, Cast Down at 3, Murder at 2, Vraska's Contempt at 3. Um, People might be asking, Moment of Craving, isn't that the sideboard card? Yes, it is a sideboard card, but we have to make sure that we outlive aggro. Okay, so it kills a creature, gives you 2 life. That's like a 2 for 1 for most aggressive decks because you're killing a creature off and then you're gaining 2 life. That's like negating pretty much a shock to the face. Cast down, destroy non-legendary, murder for almost everything, Vraska's Contempt for instant speed, walker removal plus added life gain, and then Assassin's Trophy just for instant speed, pesky permanents, or anything, just another answer, which is your answer to almost everything. Ritual of Soot, clean up early aggression, Cleansing Nova for everything else above 3. It also again has the benefit to destroy artifacts or enchantments. And then Ixalan's Binding, a one of for threats you want to keep in place, like um, Red's recurring phoenixes, the fairies, stuff like that. I like to also put it on creatures with haste, so you don't, because sometimes let's say you come up with a murder a turn late, or and it's something some so the haste creature won't surprise you. Anyway, so our threats, we have Tendershoot Dryad at 3, Twilight Prophet at 2, Lyra Dawnbringer at 2, Carnage Tyrant at 2. Tendershoot Dryad and Twilight Prophet are the real Ascend cards here. Ascend is not really the all-star, it's just an added bonus. So even if you don't finish the game with a City's Blessing, that's fine. If you can just finish it off with a Carnage Tyrant, that's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's the City's Blessing is not the whole end game. It just really pushes you forward when you get it. So, Tendershoot Dryad at the beginning of each upkeep, create a 1/1 Sapperling. And then, if you have the City's Blessing, Sapperlings get +2/+2. So, every turn, you're pretty much getting a creature. And then, once you have the Ascend thing, all those 1/1 Sapperlings are now 3/3s. Large threats. Okay, large, continuous pouring out threats from Tendershoot Dryad. And, he's just standing there. He doesn't have to tap to do damage. He's just the longer he stays there, the more value you're getting from him. Twilight Prophet, same as Tendershoot Dryad, but usually you want this even later in the game. He's usually the least desired threat, but has the up of drain and a pseudo draw. Here at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have the City's Blessing, reveal the top card of your library and put it into your hand. Each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where it's the mana cost. So, a pseudo draw, and then sometimes I've flipped over a Carnage Tyrant, drain for 7, flipped over what's the name of that? The Eldest Reborn, stuff like that. Lyra Dawnbringer, flying first type, like lifelink angel. Other angels get +1/+1. She's just really there to get you back against aggro, making sure that you don't die so easily to aggro, and you can come back. Carnage Tyrant, all star right now for me. It is winning games solely by itself. Okay, sometimes you slam it down, people are already sweating, they're all scrambling. What is my answer to this? So they're just they're looking through the deck and they realize, dude, this is not gonna go anywhere, and then they scoop. But seriously, Carnage Tyrant looking really good right now. I don't know if the meta's not ready or people are just not ready for the threat right now. Maybe in a few months or weeks, we'll be seeing more answers to Tyrant. But right now, I am very happy with Tyrant. 5 out of 5 stars, man. 5 out of 5. Vivien Reid, Vraska Relic Seeker. Both walkers have removal ability as their minus and then plus ability as added threats. I like Vivien a little bit more because um, you're grabbing huge threats. Sometimes you can grab a Carnage Tyrant or when you really need it, a Lyra. And but she has the downside of sometimes missing, but that's not too bad. Okay, last we have our other spells. Gift of Paradise at 3, Circuitous Route at 2, Arguel's Bloodfast. So Gift of Paradise, making sure that you have some life gain and making sure that you get to the amount of mana you want. And Circuitous Route grabs gates. Gates, man. Gates that's multicolored lands from your deck. So immediately fixes the color. Arguel's Bloodfast, pay 2, one generic, one black, and then draw a card. The pay 2 life, not too hard for you. You kind of have a lot of gain in the deck, so just convert the extra life into cards and you're pretty happy. And then here's the sideboard, the rest at 3, Moment of Craving at 2, Murder at 1, Ritual of Soot at 1, Sorcerer's Spyglass at 1, Death Gorge Scavenger at 2, Profane Procession at 1, Ixalan's Binding at 1, Shalai Voice of Plenty at 1, Nullhide Ferox at 1, and The Eldest Reborn at 1. The rest, for all your control needs, Moment of Craving, just to further bump up the gap between you and aggro. Murder for um added removal. Ritual of Soot, clean up the early aggro. So Ritual of Soot, I just added this before the game. This is an update, and also the murder. The murder was really originally a cast down, but I realized sometimes other decks use a lot of legendary permanents, so I need to swap it out for murder. Sorcerer's Spyglass for things you don't want to deal with, let's say like Ascanta, Teferi, that stuff. Deathguard Scavenger. You can put this in Graveyard Hate plus aggro. Swap to your 2 tyrants. Destroy a few creatures. Put Scavenger in. Gain 2 life. You have a blocker or a threat. Profane Procession. This is a special card for mid to late games because sometimes you're either out of answers or you're out of threats. Profane Procession, make sure it's coming in because first of all, its ability 3 generic, 1 white, 1 black, exile target creature. Then if there are 3 or more cards exiled with Procession, transform it. So it's a great card first of all because it's an ability and there is no counter abilities in the set right now. So you slam this immediately against control and he cannot counter it. He can try to protect his creature this turn on his end step, but when he passes it back to your turn, you do it again and you got it. And then when it flips, put two generic, 1 white, 1 black, put a creature card exiled with this permanent onto the battlefield under your control. So if you run out of permanents and you've exiled his, I mean correction, if you run out of threats and you've exiled his, use his against himself. Okay, use his own medicine against what's that saying? Taste of his own medicine. Anyway, Excellence Binding, I like it a lot. I'll talk further about it later. Shall I Voice of Plenty, added hexproof, added protection for you, Planeswalker, and other creatures you control. So you'll have to deal with her first before you you get into, dealing with the other stuff. Nullhide Ferox, um, for 4 you get a 6/6 body that's hexproof, and it's huge, man. That's huge. 4466. Crazy. The design of this. And then it's if it's discarded, if this card is discarded, you put Nullhide Ferox into play. So you love this against Grixis Bolas control. I just this is a new addition to the sideboard, and I think this is going to be great. And you could also swap some stuff for aggro. Get a big blocker, an early fast blocker. Eldest Reborn, it's like a little walker. Each opponent sacrifice a creature or planeswalker. Then second saga, each opponent discards a card. And third saga, put target creature or planeswalker card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. So keeps the board in check, keeps the hand in check, then gives you a threat. You like this mostly for mid to late games. Anyway, results: played 4 games at Concealed Courtyard, Coco for short, won 3 games and 1 loss. Sadly, I came out at 5th place, only due to tie breaks, but that's fine. I'm happy because I realized and I've proven that the deck is pretty good. It's working. It's at least working, and I'm happy about that. And let's go to matchups. Matchups. So first game was Is It Drakes? Won and had 2 games for me. Mono Red Burn lost 2 games. I will explain that later. Please do not be disheartened thinking that this deck cannot keep up with aggro. It definitely can, but Mono Red Burn has something I'm gonna tell you about later. 4 color good stuff. That's more of like an Azorius control with splashes of black and red. And I won with 3 games, and then Grixis control winning again with 3 games. So just a quick summary for the matchup. Is It Drake's pretty easy. Slammed down a Carnage Tyrant, and then tried to run away with the game. Just made sure his threats were answered. I put down an Ixalan's Binding on one of his threats, on one of his drakes, which I'm sure he had a 4 of. So he was scrambling to grab another threat. I mean, even if he kept trying to burn me or tempo me with Ionize and other stuff, our life total was way beyond what he can handle, and definitely Carnage Tyrant was something he could not handle as well. Mono Red Burn, I'll get to this later. 4 color good stuff. The This is the Azorius one with splash of black and red. One again with Carnage Tyrant, really good. I swear Carnage Tyrant is looking really good. So I'm just worried that people will be looking out for this card definitely. So one game one with Carnage Tyrant, made sure his angels could not try defend, and then game two I lost because uh excuse me. Game two I lost. Sorry. So I'm drawing too much lands. Sorry. Game two I lost because I only drew 3 spells, and then the rest were all lands. He put in an early Lyra, finished me off. Game three, uh, he was I was on the play. Turn four, I uh, I gambled and thought and just slammed in a Tendershoot Dryad. Fortunately, he was mana screwed. Which I didn't realize. He had black up, so I was worried that he would kill it on end step. So slammed 2 Tendershoot Dryads, one after the other, and it just ran away with the game. The 2 Tendershoot Dryads, really strong, really good, the card. Grixis control, this was the Bolas control with Grixis Colors has a discard, basic counter and removal set. One game one again with Carnage Tyrant. Game two, I was controlled because of this card. He took away my Ixalan's binding. I was supposed to put it down on his bolas. He was pretty fortunate that um he was pretty fortunate that he grabbed the Ixalan's binding just before he could put down the bolas. Eventually ran away with the game. Game three was pretty long. Um I won again with Carnage Tyrant, but it was more of a back and forth thing. Outvalued him with what's the name of that? The Bloodfast. Really, Bloodfast can really get you easy 5 draws. It's really good in the deck. And I forgot to mention the 4 color good stuff. Game one, he slammed down immediately because I wasn't moving. I was just holding up. I was just holding up removal. So he puts down a Teferi, thinking that I have no, either he has a counter or he has no instant speed, or I have no instant speed removal for him. So he slams on a Teferi turn 5, and right after I give him an Excellence Binding on Teferi, and follow up with the Tyrant. That's how I won. Okay, so let's go to the notes here. For the red, okay, for the mono red game, dude, Experimental Frenzy is really crazy. I hate the card. Dude, I really hate it. It is I don't think it's fair. But let's not be bitching about it. Maybe I'm just not prepared for it, but it's crazy, man. Okay, let's read it. Experimental Frenzy, 3 generic, a red for an enchantment. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may play the top card of your library. You can't play cards from your hand. And then 3 generic and a red, destroy Experimental Frenzy. So the 2 games I lost because of this card. Solely because of this card. And I hate it so much, man. I hate it. But I really recommend the mono red build. It's really good. Steamkin, then basic aggro, shocks and strikes. All to the face, the wizard stuff. Anyway, game one, I was able to control but stabilized at 12. Put down a Carnage Tyrant to defend from some goblins. Excuse me. Defended from some defending from some goblins. Puts down a frenzy, and dude, he is spitting out 3 to 4 spells a turn. Dude, spitting out 3 to 4 spells. You could be stabilized at 12, you could be stabilized at 20. He's making this card makes the library your freaking hand, man. He's making it your freaking hand. And then it smoothens out everything for red. It gets he'll strike from the top, shock from the top, and then there's a land. He'll play the land, and then 3 other spells. Bam, bam, bam. Like what? I'm thinking to myself, dude, I'm drawing 1 removal at I'm happy to get a removal, and sometimes I get a land. But he's not drawing, he's casting 3 from the deck. And you're like, what? What? Sad life. Anyway, I was able to sacrifice the tyrant to the blood fast. Still not enough, man. Turn 2, correction. Game 2. Okay, I was really aggressive on the removal. Really controlled him, really good. Controlled him, and I was stable at 18. Dude, 18, man. I was at 18. And he had nothing on the board. So what do? I slam down a Lyra. Then the next thing you know, he slams down the frenzy, and then and then the next thing you know, I try to attack it, and then he shocks, and he freaking gets a freaking lightning strike off the top, and I'm thinking to myself, that's fine, that's fine. Because next turn, I had the Memorial of Folly, and I grabbed Lyra back, and I then the following turn, of course, I cast it, and I'm thinking to myself, dude, not today. I'm gonna hit you with Lyra. I'm gonna lifelink, and this is gonna be over. Okay, just lie down and die now. Okay, lie down and die. And he puts two goblins down, the ones with haste and the ones that can spit. Sacrifice, deal one damage, and then he gets that. He gets those two. He freaking spits it at Lyra, and then he freaking lightning strikes it. It's like, what the fuck? What the? I already put in two Lyras, okay, and then I have removal. I've been drawing removal, and the next thing you know, he's just spitting out shocks and lightning strikes to my face. I stabilized at 18, man, and then he comes in. He comes in. He has this turn. He has this crazy freaking turn with the wizard's lightning, goblins, the steamkin, and dude, the wizard from Dominaria comes in as a 2/2 with haste. If he has two or more sorceries, instant or sorceries in the graveyard, and that's like a goblin guide, okay, from the top of the deck, just pouring out, flooding the freaking board, and I'm thinking to myself, dude, he just grabbed three creatures from the top, and I just grabbed one removal, and what is happening right now? What is happening right now? And it was so heartbreaking, man. Oh man, harsh. It was so harsh. I hate it. Anyway, guys, please, if you have any answers to this, right now I'm thinking of damping sphere just to slow them down, but I don't think it's enough. It's just this card is for literally for like niche, for specific decks, but it goes really well with the red. Every turn he's spitting, one to cast, two to cast, three to, and then another one, and then he has a steamkin to make sure he's steamrolling. It's like, what is happening? Yeah. Anyway, if you have answers or suggestions to this problem, uh please send it. But I do like the deck. I do like the experimental frenzy mono red deck. It's really strong. I am not joking, but it can be a brick wall, but it can also be, steamrolling. Anyway, next we have the Carnage Tyrant. Carnage Tyrant, good job. I think Carnage Tyrant is definitely the king now. He is definitely an all-star threat. Really hard to remove. So the only things that really remove him are just board wipes plus what's the name of that? Resettle the wreckage. But that's fine if you're able to swing in twice or at least once. You've gotten at least somewhere. Love it so much. Love this card right now. Excellence Binding, super good. The single main board one done has done answers for me. Slams down Teferi. I immediately answer with an Excellence Binding. If he put down Bolas and I grab the Bolas with the binding, I'd be pretty stress free. But the Excellence Binding, when I was building the whole deck, the single main board was really a gamble, and I'm really glad I took the gamble because I'm seeing a lot of good results with this. Tendershoot Dryad here in multiples can really run away with a game, man. You put two tender shoots one after the other, it can just run away with the game. It's like Eldrazi again. Just make sure there's no removal. I mean, if he's all creatures, no removal, no spot anything. You know, you have in three turns, you have an army of 5/5s swinging in, and you still have blockers. It's like what? And then next turn, you'll have another pair of blockers. It's really good. I really like it. I really love this card. So hey guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you like the deck tech. Hope you like the results. I hope you could give any, positive reviews, violent comments. I don't care. Any suggestions, especially on the frenzy thing. I really need an answer there, please. I don't want to have to deal with it. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Thank you. Like and subscribe to the channel. Uh, really helps. Thank you. Bye.